I'm not Honorable Danomiaye. My name is Edwin K. Jala. Well, I have the distinguished honor to welcome you on his behalf. So at this hour, Honorable Anthony Saw of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the city manager of MCC, the president of Lofa University, the director general of the Civil Service Agency, other officials of CSA, the fourth estate. It is a pleasing honor at this time on behalf of the Honorable Deputy Director General for Administration, Honorable Danomiaye, to take this time to welcome all of you to the Civil Service Agency, where, like you heard the moderator say, there will be presentation of reports, human resource assessment reports for the Lofa University, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, and the Monrovia City Corporation. Again, I want to say welcome to the CSA. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jala, for that welcome remark. Second on our list, we have rationale of the intervention that will be done by Mr. Alfred Joseph, the Principal Administrative Officer of the Civil Service Agency.
The Honorable Director General of the Civil Service Agency, officials of government, members of the media, directors and senior staff of the Civil Service Agency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Civil Service Agency, like all of you are aware, is a human resources arm for government, and part of our roles and responsibilities is to ensure that people who work for government are legitimate employees. And by doing so, we have been very robust in reaching out to government spending entities by ensuring that their employees go through our haircut processes to ensure efficiency, legitimacy, and records are kept in our system. The MCSS, the Drug Enforcement Agency, Lofa County University is no exception. We'd like to say in this public manner that the Civil Service Agency received warm cooperation and collaboration with these entities. So today is a clear demonstration that you're going to witness here by the Director General in terms of presenting the different reports for effective and strategic decision making that will help improve the service delivery across the different entities. The rest I do, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is another milestone for the civil service. I would like to urge you all to be very cooperative. I would like to challenge you that as you proceed back to your different institutions with these reports or the recommendations before they implemented the enhanced service delivery. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. We have presentation of the reports will be done by Honorable Dr. Josiah F. Jokar Jr., the Director General of the Civil Service Agency.
Honorable Saul, the Director General of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, and your Principal Deputy, Honorable Papa, the Deputy Director General for Administration, Dr. Porter, the president of the Lofa County University, and my dear brother, the city manager. I always say our landlord. I want to welcome you. I know this is your city. It's strange when welcoming you. You're supposed to be welcoming all of us everywhere in the city. But it's a privilege this afternoon to officially welcome you and your team from the Monrovia City Corporation. I also want to recognize Mr. Joe Wilson. Thank you for joining us. I know you've just come. You've been here for like a week now from the U.S. But Joe Wilson is a tech expert, and I hope one of these days we can leverage his expertise by bringing him over to contribute to the development of his own country. Mr. Wilson, I want to say welcome to Liberia from the United States. I also want to recognize my dear colleagues, my partners in progress, Honorable Smith, the Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management and Policy at CSA, Honorable Mianye, the Deputy Director General for Administration and Finance, the Principal Administrative Officer, Mr. Drosier, and all other directors, employees of the CSA, special guests, two distinguished guests I'm going to recognize, Ruth and Cotto. If you don't mind, please stand up. I just want to say something about both of you a little bit. Ruth and Cotto were among the first 5 people who sat the computer-based civil service examination. As a matter of fact, we've automated our national civil service examination system. It's no longer paper-based. It's now computer-based, meaning we've transitioned from people sitting using pen and paper writing the test and a few people sitting somewhere in a crack-up room and deciding their fate, whether or not they pass or they fail. It's automatic right now, and it's automated with less human efforts, meaning that the moment you take the test, your results instantly go to your email, and if you pass, your automated certificate also goes to your email, signed by the head of testing and approved by me, the Director General. And the essence of the examination is to first do a fundamental evaluation of your competency, your professional competency, your cultural faith, because it's an aptitude test. It covers almost all areas in general. And that's the extent to which we've automated the system and transformed so that we can have a merit-based testing process in place. So we went live after the trial period. We did a trial period for almost 3 months. And we got close to 300 Liberians who registered for the test online, who also registered in person. We got 2 ways. You can register online and get your confirmation, or you come and register in person and get your confirmation. They took the test, and the essence was to see how Liberians understand the process and how they can participate and to test the efficiency of the system. And so when we realized that the system was very effective, efficient, and ready to go, we went live. This week, Monday, we started. So the first 5, Ruth and Cotto were among the first 5. They shared their experiences with me. They were very scared from the beginning. They registered, and they were judging themselves whether or not to take it, because according to them, people told them that nobody passes the civil service examination. And that was a myth that they proved wrong. They took the test, 5 people, 3 females, 2 males, and the 2 of them passed successfully. To the extent that Cotto finished 49 questions. Out of the 50 questions, she finished 49 questions. Yes. And she was very successful. And Ruth, you finished how many questions? 28 questions she finished. And they all passed. So please, there's no myth. You can take the test and pass it. And we got to put our country on par with our contemporaries to make sure that we have systems that work. Believe in ourselves and believe in our systems. While I was speaking, I saw Mr. Mobile Johnson, the president of the Civil Servant Association, welcome, sir. Recognize you. And I forgot to recognize the Minister of Internal Affairs team is here. The reason why they are here, today we just had a joint meeting with the Minister of Internal Affairs. They have requested officially, the Honorable Minister, Francis Juma Lane, has requested that the CSA collaborate with them to conduct the same exercise across the country. According to him, he wants it across the country. He wants it to be sweeping. That we should go and do the personnel verification and credential audit for the Ministry of Internal Affairs. This is going to be a national initiative. Today we had a first joint meeting, and now our two technical teams are working together. It is often said that he who comes with equity must come with clean hands. What do I mean by that? After the ceremony here briefly, you will witness me and my two deputies. We will initiate the CSA personnel and credential verification exercise. So I will be the first. They're going to take me on, and after that my two deputies will follow. And by next week, we will have downstairs, the entire team will be seated, and we will be working with the National Commission on Higher Education. Because we are CSA, we can exclusively do it on our own. And the only reason why our technical team will be involved, because we have the ESRP system, the Employee Status Regularization Program system. That's our application. So we will be working with the National Commission on Higher Education to do the credential aspect. So we are going to do that. I want you to know, so nobody should be asking questions anymore, but why is the CSA doing all this and they're not doing themselves? We're going to be doing ourselves as well. Today is a privilege again. We were here a few weeks ago when we presented the reports for NAFA. That's the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority. They requested us to go and do the same thing at their place. We did it, and we presented the report here openly to the public, to them, in the glare of the public. We also did for the Monrovia Consolidated School System. We presented here publicly. At CSA, we don't have anything to hide. We have to be that mark of transparency and accountability. It's important because we have to restore meritocracy to our public service, and if we should do that, we should do that by example. And today we are here. It's an honor, it's a privilege to have all of you here today. We are presenting 3 reports today. The Monrovia City Corporation, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, and the Lofa County University. We deploy our teams at the 3 entities. The goal was to conduct thorough personnel and credential verification exercises. Our teams spent weeks at those entities. They traveled to Lofa. They stayed at the university for about 3 weeks. They were seated at LDEA for at least 2 weeks and a half to 3 weeks. They were at the Monrovia City Corporation for about 3 weeks. And generally, I want to extend heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the 3 institutions. You've been very kind. You've been very nice to our teams. As we all know, this process is not supported budgetarily. There's no money in the national budget for this exercise. This is one of the deliberate and intentional interventions that the CSA is doing to bring decency, efficiency, and productivity to the public service, but it's not supported through the budgetary enrichment. How we do it? It is not a miracle also. It is in the context of the President's call to all of us to collaborate, to partner, to work together, to pool resources, to share resources, and to deliver services to meet the expectations of the Liberian people. That is exactly what the Civil Service Agency is doing through these processes. Notwithstanding I'd like to say that we need every support to support this initiative for us to cover all of the spending entities. We have 105 of them. And so anywhere we can get support from, we highly appreciate it, from both the public and the private sector institutions. We'll be very grateful. So you all know the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency is a paramilitary institution. On the basis of that, we are not going to discuss their report here today. But I can tell you that what I'm going to discuss regarding the other two entities in terms of what we found, the implications, and the recommendations, they are not different from what we are presenting to the LDEA. And we want to tell the public that we're going to work with the LDEA to be able to fully implement, when I say fully, I mean scrupulously, implement the recommendations contained therein. So it is my honor and privilege at this time to invite the Director General of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency to come and receive the copy of their report. Honorable Sewell, that report you have contains all the observations, all of the anomalies as far as human resource management related issues are concerned at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. And the only reason why we're not letting the public know the details is because you are a security agency. And we're not going to be telling the public what our drug enforcement agency constitutes in terms of structure, strength, manpower, or whatever. We're not going to do that here. So we just want to tell you that the CSA is ready, as we have initiated our collaboration and partnership, to work with you for the implementation of every recommendation in that report. Thank you. Mr. Director General.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Having said that, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will move now to the Monrovia City Corporation. We had an exit meeting with the Monrovia City Corporation yesterday. We know that the Lord Mayor is on an official trip, but he is ably represented here by his Chief of Staff, Office Staff, Charlene, and the city manager, the entire team. They are here representing the Monrovia City Corporation. The Monrovia City Corporation extended us an invitation to go and conduct a thorough personnel and credential verification exercise. It is part of the new leadership's interests in improving and strengthening their personnel system. And so, recognizing the statutory responsibility of the Civil Service Agency as the chief advisor to the government of Liberia on all human resource matters, and also with the responsibility to deal with all human resource transactions across spending entities, the MCC requested us to deploy our team as we did at the House of Representatives, at NAFA, at MCSS. And we did that for a period of 1 month. 1 month. While our team was seated at the MCC to conduct the exercise, they cover key areas including personnel file reviews, credential authentication, personnel physical, head count and verification, attendance records analysis, reclassification of staff, and observation of the measure of digitalization and digitization. I'm intentionally telling you both because they are two different things. The RT technicians will tell you that. I'm not one of those, I just read it. So I want to give you the details of their human resource records. This process, in essence, represents a critical turning point for institutional reform, governance enhancement, and efficiency in municipal service delivery in our city of Monrovia, our beloved city of Monrovia. As a matter of fact, Monrovia is getting very beautiful. Every time I drive through Cinco, I feel proud. Congratulations. I don't know how you're doing it, but our city is getting beautiful. And we now feel prouder to invite other people from other countries to come to town. But tell you, we got to keep them around the Cinco area for now when they come to visit with us. All right, so during the process, we had some key findings, and I will tell you the key ones. So many findings for the key ones. Mr. City Manager, Charlie and Thane. So we were able to verify 736 employees out of the 777, which constitute 97%, were able to verify them. Those were people we saw, we counted, and we reviewed their photos. So a 736 out of 777 listing that we received from you. We received from you a personnel listing of 777. And throughout the process, we identified only 736 as people who we could account for. 41 of those individuals, constituting 5.3%, were not verified, raising concerns of ghost names or unauthorized employment. For the credential audit, we were able to verify 456 staff who presented legitimate and verifiable credentials, constituting 62% of the verified workforce, not the 777, but the 736 that we verified. Of the 736 that we verified, we also found that 36 individuals, constituting 5%, were found with credentials believed to be unverifiable documents, or for the lack of better word, falsified or forged. Education profile. 325 staff members hold only high school documents. 325. 244 have no formal academic qualification. We found also limited representation exists among bachelor's and master's degree holders, pointing to workforce skill deficiency. Attendance analysis. We found that 75 employees were absent for the period 3 to 6 days for the time we reviewed the attendance records. 8 employees were absent for the period 7 to 13 days. 2 employees were absent for the period 14 days plus or more. And 11 employees had no attendance record at all. Role placement in terms of job roles, that's what we mean. We found that 154 employees were deemed to be qualified for reclassification based on qualifications and job fit, 154. We also found that 43 are misplaced, and 16 are overqualified for the roles they play right now, and 7 are underqualified for the roles they play. Payroll risk and some governance breaches in terms of HR governance breaches. So when I say governance now, overall governance, human resource, everything I say here about governance and leadership is related to human resource. 150 individuals were hired. We found that they were hired unlawfully on April 3rd, 2023, without the MCC HR protocols considered, without the CSA employment protocols considered, and without formal authorization that we could get from the office of the mayor. Those 150 people are part of more than 160 people who were hired on that single day, April 3rd, 2023. Only 150 of the more than 160 people we were able to verify during the exercise. These appointments bypass budget, legal, and operational standards, and undermine institutional governance. How did we know? Somebody would say you were doing the hair count and the credential. We knew because part of our exercise is desk review. Other reports published prior to the activity shows that and proves that. Gender distribution, which is another critical part of the process. Males account for 73% of the verified workforce, meaning 540 staff members are male. And females account for only 27%, meaning that 196 of the staff members are females, revealing a significant gender gap and need for equitable representation. 2 payroll system risk. The current leadership inherited a 2 payroll system. Our investigation shows that they inherited a 2 payroll system. And our investigation shows further that the 2 payroll system, especially one managed by CSA and the other managed internally. And we found out that the internal payroll is actually intended to complement the CSA managed payroll to be able to make up for disparities in salaries, because there are people on the CSA managed payroll that make very less, and that internally they have to be able to make up for that. We realize that. So that's what the management has been doing. As much as the intent may be good, but it poses a serious risk that could lead to irregular salary payments, that could lead possibly to double dipping situations, knowingly and unknowingly. So the dual system compromises fiscal integrity and increases the risk of salary duplication, irregularities, and inefficiencies. As I indicated, as much as the intention may be good, but we have to be cognizant of the risks that poses to effective, efficient governance and integrity to the institution. Because of these critical findings, we have proposed the following recommendations to the Monrovia City Corporation, for which we want to underscore here the CSA's readiness, because it is part of our responsibility to work with the MCC in fully implementing these recommendations to improve the efficiency, the effectiveness, and the productivity of the MCC. And if we should achieve that, we have to face these human resource related issues that we have outlined, because they have significant implications for the success of the institution. While I was speaking, I recognized the Executive Director of the National Disaster Management Authority, Mr. Dolly, and the Deputy Director General for Administration at the National Bureau of Concessions, Honorable Kamara. And I know other government entities are coming out to these report presentations so they can know exactly what their own will look like. Because we're certainly coming to your places. Whether you invite us or not, we will come. Yeah, we don't look for invitations, but when we get one, we can be very proud and happy to work with you. So recommendation number 1 is immediate payroll action for unverified employees. We recommend the immediate removal of the 41 unverified staff from the payroll. And MCC, we can assure you that by Monday, the Civil Service Agency will remove those names from your payroll. And if any of those people are human beings and they have legitimate claims, when we remove them from the payroll, they will come. And MCC and CSA will work together to further verify and restore them or permanently delete them from the payroll. Suspension and credential verification of discrepant staff. We are recommending the suspension of those people with unverifiable credentials. And we will work with you, MCC, to transfer them to, or forward them to the National Commission on Higher Education for validation purposes. We found that they are not. And probably if we go to the National Commission on Higher Education, they could prove that wrong to say they are. So that's the statutory institution charged with that responsibility. We will work with you. You are not alone in this, MCC. And then we all will go to the National Commission on Higher Education to make sure that there's validation. We are recommending the reclassification and redeployment of employees based on qualification. There are those, about 43 of them, whom we say are misplaced. And there are those, a little over 200, like 244, who we said need to be reclassified. We will work with you for the reclassification. Because I'll give you an example. When we did the House of Representatives Central Administration verification exercise, to give you an example, we had somebody who was budget analyst. I'm just giving you a classic example. But the highest credential they had was high school certificate. And that was no brainer. So the only thing we did, we just brought you down straight to high school certificate role. But we are also mindful that some people have credentials, but they have had long-term experience and professional experience along the way. We are also mindful of that we have conversations with such people significantly before the actions are taken. So this is something that our two institutions will work on. But there is need, significant need for reclassification and redeployment. Reclassification also of staff, just as I was saying, with inadequate educational credentials. We are also considering that, so it's in that category. Attendance-linked payroll adjustments. We will apply proportional salary deduction for unexcused absences. I gave you the categories. And we will also give you the Human Resource Policy Manual. The HR is supposed to provide that to you at your entity. It is clearly stated when somebody is out of work or absent from work for the period we specify in here, how much should be deducted in terms of prorating their salaries. All those people involved will deduct the salaries for those months accumulated. Those who were absent for 14 plus days is automatic dismissal. That's what the law says. That is non-negotiable. So the CSA will be requesting you formally to issue their dismissal letters. This is in keeping with the standing orders and the Human Resource Policy Manual. Suspension of staff with prolonged absenteeism. Those are 7 to 13 days. 14 plus days, I just said, is dismissal. And we investigate employees with missing attendance records. Those with significant ones, almost the photos empty. We block them. We didn't say we delete them. Blocking and deletion are different. We will block them. And then we work with you to investigate why they don't have the requisite documents in their files. We will encourage performance-based promotions and evaluations, and we have encouraged every institution to adopt that system. It's the same way we discourage transfers being used as punishment. If you don't like an employee, or if you think you cannot work or cooperate with them, you arbitrarily transfer them as a form of punishment. CSA has never, and CSA will never support that. If you transfer them, we will not remove them from the payroll until investigation happens and we realize that indeed the transfer was legit, was justifiable. Strategic staffing policy and workplace planning. We encourage alignment of hiring with projected growth and capacity needs. Not because there are people who need jobs, but because there's need for people to be employed. Periodic review of staff qualifications is good. That way you don't lose track of the competency of your employee, both cultural and professional. Invest in education and professional growth. CSA is here to help with that. And I am pleased to inform you that today we had a very good meeting with His Excellency the Ambassador of India, who have committed to work with the CSA specifically on the aspect of manpower development. And there will be coming shortly a lot of opportunities in the different fields. And there's a special program the Indian government has called ARTEC, which he has said to me that they are going to work with the civil service to have more Liberians trained in different fields. So we can assure you that when those opportunities come, we will start putting them out just as we started with the ECOWAS, the AU, the regional and continental bodies, that Liberia is really underrepresented at those places in terms of job opportunities. That's why the CSA has started putting job adverts out for ECOWAS, for AU-related jobs, and we will do that very shortly as the opportunities start to come for capacity building in different fields. So we are recommending a unified payroll system management. That is, we have to collapse the CSA managed payroll and the supplementary payroll. This will be a professional and technical approach. We will have to meticulously work on it. It is not just something you can say, oh, from now going forward, the supplementary payroll, it's canceled, it's shut down. We have to work on it because bear in mind that the city government has also been using that like to motivate people to stay on the job because of the low salary they have on the CSA payroll. So we have to critically do our two institutions to make sure that it is collapsed properly. To collapse the two payrolls into one is in keeping with law. The 2019 Standardization and Remuneration Act calls for one national payroll system in the government, and that any other supplementary payroll must be through the National Consultancy Framework, for which the CSA developed the consultancy regime, has reformed it. So we'll be working with you to collapse that, but we will be listening to you for recommendations and work together to do it so that it's reasonably done. The HR finance data synchronization to ensure alignment of professional and financial records. We have to do that, and you and I alone will do that together. So we need to take collaborative action to resolve payroll irregularities, and again we are encouraging you to partner with the CSA and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to address payroll related flaws or issues that we can collectively identify. Now, we have to investigate the unauthorized employment, and disciplinary action has to be taken on April 3rd, 2023. We are requesting the MCC to immediately ensure that all the 150 people reapply. And because we have to reapply, the Civil Service Agency will go ahead and block the 150 people on the MCC payroll. And we will further investigate, and to investigate whoever identified in the report as being responsible for this one-day massive employment will be suspended, and they will be blocked on the payroll, the MCC payroll. And we'll also further investigate if they are also on the supplementary payroll. We will request you to block them subsequently. And the CSA will further the investigation to know the rationale, the motivation for doing that, for carrying out such massive employment on one day in flagrant violation of the civil service protocols, employment protocols, of not giving any authorization. At least our team did not receive a copy of the authorization from the office of the mayor to authorize that. And also flagrant violation of the MCC's human resource policy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the leadership of the MCC, again, I gave my heart out to you on behalf of the Civil Service Agency. It is not an easy thing to take over an institution that is really inundated with so many personnel-related issues. You and I alone, Honorable Saul, who sits here, Honorable Dolly, the DDGA from NBC, and the rest of the folks in this room, the president of the Lofa University, we all experienced this in all the institutions where we took over. So you and I alone in this. This approach that we have taken is unprecedented in our country governance system. Nobody ever came publicly to talk about the issues that exist in their institutions and form reasonable way and work together collaboratively with other entities to be able to resolve them. On the basis of that, the civil service wants to congratulate you, the MCC, for mustering the courage to allow us to work together and to identify the issues you have. And together, collectively, we will reason to resolve the issues. At this time, it's my singular honor to invite, I don't know who's coming, the city manager or the deputy for administration, you will choose, or Shirley, you guys can choose to receive the report. We have appendices, very voluminous. They have it. It's printed, it's packaged with respect to all the numbers that we called. We have them that you will be picking up on Monday that accompanies the report. In terms of the 244, the names are there, the positions and everything. In terms of the 325, the names are there, everything, the 43, everything, they are properly arranged. So you'll be receiving them. But for now, we're going to give you the report. And again, congratulations. I think we should clap for everything. All right. Okay, that's MCC. distinguished ladies and gentlemen, after MCC, it takes me to Lofa County University. And you know, Lofa is my home county. And we are going to present a report. And I hope the president is passionate about working with the Civil Service Agency for the full implementation of this report. So again, the Civil Service Agency, I won't repeat our mandate by law, by policy, by regulation, by guidelines. You all know, statutorily responsible for human resource management across the government spending entities. We also received a formal communication from the Lofa County University. They too wanted to understand the nature of their personnel in terms of whether or not people are rightfully placed, people have the right credentials and the background to serve in the roles they are serving in, or people are misfits. And according to the president of the university, they couldn't do that by themselves. That's why they reached out to the CSA to do that. When we received the communication, we immediately engaged the university and we set up our team again as usual to go to Lofa County to conduct the exercise. The goal of the exercise was to ensure accurate and updated employee records, and to conduct comprehensive personnel physical head count, and analyze the attendance records to authenticate academic and professional credentials. And for Lofa County University, this is very critical because that's an academic institution. So the issue of credential authenticity is paramount. We also sought to optimize staff deployment based on qualifications and needs. We sought to formalize employment status updates to promote transparency and institutional integrity as an academic institution, and to provide strategic HR recommendations for the improvement and the strengthening of the efficiency, effectiveness, and productivity of the institution. But that is institution producing men and women to serve our society, not only Liberia, but our region, the continent, and the world. Like some of us who have gone all around, bearing the name of our institution, bearing the name of the great University of Liberia. Lofa County University sets out to do that. So that intervention, as I said, was part of our broader effort to professionalize the public service and ensure a credible workforce. Critical findings, key findings. And if there's anybody in this room listening keenly, is the president of the Lofa County University, Dr. Pola. Because when I said key findings, he lay his head in than it was, Mr. President. All right, so personnel records. We review 149 personnel files and updated them. Of the 149, 103 were found to be out, not up. You'll be out, O-U-T, D-A-T-E-D, outdated records that we have to rectify, working with your team. 143 files constitute 93.7% that we verified, as I indicated, and met compliance standards. We identify absenteeism and suspected ghost workers on a total number of 10. 10 personnel cases flagged for further review and disciplinary action. Those are the ones we identify to be ghost names or ghost workers, depending on how you want to consider it. Credential verification. 133 or 94%, 94.3% staff credentials were verified as legitimate. 9 or 5.6% staff credentials were identified as questionable or forged or falsified. These findings are critical, and identifying them is vital to help the university with personnel management, the promotion of accountability, and aligning staffing practices with acceptable standards. On the basis of that, Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the 10 unverified staff should be immediately blocked on the Lofa County University payroll. And no headache, no worries about that, because you know that the CSA is blocking them on Monday. And we'll notify you appropriately. We want you to immediately suspend all the staff members with severe discrepancies, credential discrepancies. I am not going to call the names here, but the names are spelled out in the report. And the credentials they lie about, they are all there in the report. A total of 33 staff members are supposed to be reclassified and redeployed based on qualification. Mr. President, you are already an academician, and we will be working with you, the CSA, to ensure that that reclassification and redeployment happens. A total of 25 employees were absent from work for the period of 3 to 4 days in April. Their salaries must be appropriately prorated in keeping with the Human Resource Policy Manual. That means it's already stated how much should be deducted from their salaries. A total of 15 employees missed between 7 to 13 days in April. They must be immediately suspended and the CSA notified. And you know our suspension is for a period of 1 month. Meaning they are suspended without pay. A total of 4 people were absent for 14 days or more. You know where the standing orders stand for that? It's dismissal. 4 people will be dismissed and you will notify the CSA. Please. A total of 16 employees missed between 7 to 13. They must also be suspended. These are different categories of employees. They must also be suspended. Mr. President, the university has a strong administrative and maintenance workforce, but academic and technical units like instruction, IT, M&E, research are critically understaffed. Therefore, we recommend the recruitment processes focused on prioritizing academic and technical areas within the university. There is a significant mismatch between roles and qualifications for at least 31 verified staff. In short, they are misplaced or they are underqualified. We recommend that the administration of Lofa County University implement the redeployment of the 31 staff members into their respective areas of specialty. So going forward, Mr. President, we want to encourage you to ensure credential verification to be implemented during all hiring processes. We don't wait anymore, we just hire people then before we call CSA to come and do credential verification. So going forward, let's start. During the hiring process, we must integrate credential verification as a critical component of the hiring process. We should adopt performance-based assessment to inform promotions. Again, we always emphasize that promotion must not be on who know you. Promotion or transfer or suspension must not be on the basis of the way you feel personally about the employee. It should be based on need. Record keeping. We are asking you, like we're asking all other entities, to transition to digital HR information system. And today, let me inform the public that the CSA will be officially communicating to all the spending entities to adopt a biometric fingerprint attendance system. The CSA is not paying for it because we don't have the money, but you will pay for it as a requirement, and we will give a time frame for you to adopt that system. Once it's adopted, the CSA will work with all the entities to create a repository of reports. On a monthly basis, your reports are generated, and the prorating is automatic. We will not be doing what we're doing anymore, to go to the payroll and prorate, go to the payroll and deduct from suspended people or dismissed people. It will be automatic. So we will be coming out with our communication to all the entities. Many entities have done well. They now have their biometric fingerprint for attendance record purposes, and we will be making it mandatory that every other spending entity adopts the biometric attendance record system. And we will have a particular approach to how you will officially notify the CSA when you do it, because we'll work with all of you to put in place a repository, a platform where we receive all your reports as we are receiving them manually on a monthly basis. Workforce planning, we want you to please develop a 5-year strategic plan that includes a standard staffing policy aligned with projected academic growth. Probably you have your overall strategic plan in keeping with your core functions. I know you were nodding your head when I said develop the strategic plan, but this is related to staffing strategic plan. It has to be exclusive, a standalone plan just on staffing purposes and personnel management. You have to initiate, because that's a critical finding, you have to initiate reviews of the outdated HR systems that you have. We want you to initiate that, and again, you're not alone in it. CSA is going to help you to do that. Refer all discrepancies to us when you are doing the hiring process, doing the credential verification, because identifying the discrepancies in credential academic records is one thing, and then helping us to stop it is another thing. Because when you identify it and we sweep it under the rug, the carpet, then more and more people will come to try their luck. But when you identify it and we expose it, people who have it, they will stop it. And people who want to do it, they will dare not venture. They will stop it, they won't. So it's good for us to be engaged and to alert each other on these critical matters. Mr. President, we want to thank you so much, similarly to MCC, for mustering the courage to have ICSA to come to conduct this exercise at the Lofa County University. We are very grateful. This is helping us do our job. And let me say this to the rest of the marks of the ministries, agencies, and commissions. I know up to now some of you have not digested or accepted the fact that CSA is the regulatory body for human resource management within the civil service. And probably your reliance is your height that gives you the opportunity that you believe to do it exclusively. But just as we have the financial management sector regulated, we have the procurement sector that has been regulated, the civil service agency regulates the HR sector. And I want to let you know that the CSA and LIPA, through the instrumentality of the Director General of LIPA, Niala Vapla, were able to get licenses for certification for project management, certification for human resource management. What do I mean? We will be coming out shortly with the first round of training to officially license human resource specialists or personnel in our country. And we will develop a policy and adapt it to make it mandatory that nobody will become human resource director if you are not licensed through that process through LIPA. So that license has been obtained by LIPA, and we make sure that it's done retroactively. All those serving as human resource directors and managers, how you call it in your institutions, will be required to go to LIPA and obtain the license through the requisite training, the prescribed training. And going forward, whoever we will bring into any spending entity as HR must be licensed HR. We are going to do that. And that will help to improve the delivery of the services and management of our human resource systems. Let me also announce through this privilege that we have had significant cooperation from many of the spending entities, but there are still some spending entities who are allowing their chief accountants, their financial management people to conduct human resource activities. We will not cooperate, we will not accept any human resource related communication signed by any financial management person from any spending entity. All human resource related matters, the CSA will only deal with human resource directors. If it is not a human resource director, under the supervision of the Deputy Minister for Administration or Deputy Director General for Administration, in concert with the head of entity, is not going to be honored by the CSA. It is only human resource directors of entities that CSA will deal with. If any financial management person in your entity is involved with human resource matter, you got to stop it as of today, as of this press conference. We are not going to take any communication from any entity where the chief accountant, where the financial accountant is conducting human resource matters. No, there has to be delineation, there has to be independence, and then you cannot be the player and the referee at the same time. No, there has to be accountability, and the CSA is ready to ensure that. Having said that, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thanks to my colleagues, DDG for Human Resource, DDG for Administration, PAO, directors, staff members of CSA, I say congratulations to all of you for and your commitment to integrity, transparency, and accountability. Distinguished guests, MCC, Lofa University, and Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. We couldn't be happier. We are very grateful for your cooperation. And this has served as a motivation for other entities. I'm sure they will be coming for us to do that. I'm sure the MC is going to lead us what to do next, but I want to thank you for coming to CSA. Which one? Lofa University. I see what the president is. Lofa University, please come for your report. I have it right here. Lofa County University. All right. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Matiabra. All right, I forgot one thing. CSA produces the civil servant. This one we intended to make it quarterly, but resource the first half of the year and the last half of the year. So everything we have done from January to June, everything is contained here in this magazine. It's called the Civil Servant. It's out. Our team has been distributing to ministries, agencies, and commissions since yesterday, and I'm told that they are supposed to complete the distribution today. We package it and send it over to you. So anything you want to know about what we're doing here at the CSA and what we did for the last 6 months is contained here. And this is also going to be on our website. And you know we have one of the active websites. Everything that happened instantly, our website is updated. And our communication team is very prolific. Yes, I said that. They are.
Focus on Liberia, that was the Director General of the doing his presentation of assets of
Yes, sir.
3 distinct entities in Liberia: the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the Lofa County University,
followed by MCC, and the next
and
would be
MCC.
the LDA, and that is the Drug Support.
Wow. In times like this, what do we expect from the heads of many entities? Nothing but to say thank you so much, Honorable. You have done extremely well. So on behalf of the Lofa County University, I say thank you. Thanks a million for this great initiative. I think this initiative is intended to bring efficiency and effectiveness in the public sector, particularly in the civil service, because no country can survive in the absence of the civil service. The civil service is the administrative machinery that translates government functions into practical reality. So this initiative will help the Lofa County University. I will share the findings and recommendations with the Board of Trustees, and we will deliberate on how to implement your recommendation. Surely we will do it. Once again, I say thank you. May God bless us.
Monrovia City Corporation representative.
Well, I think it's after 4, so I will say good evening. I am excited to see this happening. We have had a country where people will say this cannot happen in Liberia, or it can happen in the neighboring country. So when the DG, Josiah, who I have known for some time, said that this is going to happen, the fact that change didn't take place yesterday doesn't mean change cannot take place today. So the CSA as a control agency has started doing something that is not new to the rest of the world. This is happening in Europe, in North America, and in other countries in Africa. When people do the right thing, get the right employment, and are rightly placed in the right places, change can happen. So your report, what you just sent to us, on behalf of the mayor who is out of the country, I want to say the MCC is committed to implementing that to the full extent. And I hope that you will get the full support of the government, the full support of the Liberian people, so that this country can change. When we have people like you and your deputies and other people in other agencies do this particular thing in what they are charged to do within their different departments, Liberia will change. Thank you very much.
Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, Mr. Director General and the able staff of CSA, fellow auditee, I can't call auditee today because they audited our entity, right? And we submitted it to them. So, Director General and your staff, let's say in this public manner, thank you. Thank you very much for this work you have done. For LDA, on behalf of the men and women of LDA, I'm glad, and we want you to work with us to ensure that whatever wrong that may be done can be corrected immediately. For all you can say, well, keep your security level, then you go explain it to them.
They say you're right. You say, no, I'm taking care of people.
Yeah, taking care of people. So, on behalf of my entity, my deputy, and myself, I want to say thank you for the hard work and want to recognize the staff that really work with our entity and appreciate and appreciate the hard work. Thank you very much.
We have our partners, Mr. Boba Johnson from the Civil Servants Association, the president of the Civil Servants Association.
All protocols observed. DG, we are elated. We want to thank you and your team, especially the staff that are making the dream of the civil service agency to come to pass. You know, for us as civil servants, this is not a news. From the time you and your crew assume the leadership of this institution, you have been very intentional in putting this country back on the right footing. And so, having this also today, we think is not a news. It is just part of the many things that you have in store to better this country. You know, DG, from the time we fought the 14-year Civil War, the civil service have been battered with unprofessionalism. You have transitional leaders coming and bringing their people, sending them into the various ministries and agencies. And when they are leaving, they leave those unqualified people. And so how do you expect the system to be well when you have sick people there? And so your measure that you are taking, we think is to bring back Liberia on the within the Committee of Civilized Nations. So we applaud this. We also want to tell our colleagues and, like you said, other spending entities that this exercise has not reached to yet, to be ready to welcome the team from here. Because what is being done, many past administrations have failed to do this. To address the issue of ghosts once and for all, and to strengthen, to bring on board qualified Liberians that will serve their country. I think this team means well for our country. So we should all support the effort. Yeah. Let us not shy away. Those of you that are supposed to come for your public, the two comrades that took the test, we say thank you. Thank you. So do not shy away to say, oh, the tests are the same. Many persons are calling me to find out whether they should come for the test. I told them to come. Yes. There is not a trap set to demean you or to mean you a job. No. Come, Liberians are qualified people. We only have to believe ourselves and let us do the right thing. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Special announcement that will be done by our Director of Administration, Mr. Edwin K. Jala.
Thank you very much once again. At the beginning of his delivery, you heard the Director General commit that henceforth the CSA is not just going to be sanitizing the credentials of other institutions, but CSA is going to take the lead. So as we come to the end of this report presentation, the DG will lead an array of senior officials from the CSA, and they will go symbolically right at the entrance of the conference room. You will see the analysts line up there with their gadget, and they will formally go through the credential verification process, so that, borrowing from the president, was that the president or the city manager, auditees would know that not only institutions this exercise is happening at, is going to start with the three of them, and then all of us will have to follow suit. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
That's it? Oh, so we go there now? Please go on your pen, down.
That was the civil service agency doing a presentation of assessment on three distinct entities in Liberia: the Lofa University, the MCC, that's the Monrovia City Corporation, and the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. So we're going out to
Oh man, let me go do one thing real quick. Let me go get it before all my documents. Okay, but I please hold this for me. I can hold it. Can I hold it? Alright. So this is my personnel file?
Yes, this is your personnel file. Alright.
Well, are you guys bringing my documents from my office? No, man. Where? Here? Get a key. Okay.
You lost your job if anything is observed.
Yeah, so your three letters of recommendation. One from institution.
So, right after the verification exercise, you will go back, and the head of NHS will go back in the conference room to do a group photo with the DG.
Sure.
So this is a display of verification of civil servants. So the civil service is portraying what to be done within the agency when employees come for verification. So as you can see, the DG is in the line. He's sitting behind the presser.
So thank you.
Alright, so let me follow up, you let me know.
Yes, concerning the remaining documents that I needed your file.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
So you go in there to my position.
Three verification.
Next, please. How you doing? Can I have your file? We have the PhD.
Yes, industrial organization. That's the newest one. Do you have my appointment?
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask for that.
Academic credentials have been verified as well as quite competent. I thought of what he said to the Liberia today at his press conference. The verification process is going on. This is just to tell Liberia that
So you'll be needing
is quite
the
important.
3 letters of recommendation. They are not here in your citizen ID.
Yes.
So the 3 letters of recommendation, we got one for the community, one for your religious institution, and one from in your school or your previous place of work. So thank you. You will need to do a photocopy of your recent achievement to be attached to your file. So it was nice doing business with you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Like to just add your
So where do I go next?
You go to my colleague there.
That's the Director General of the Civil Service Agency here, portraying how employees will come if you were successful to display the credentials if accepted.
Then it was portfolio is being searched for on the laptop here to know whether it actually of this kind of recognition.
This master's.
Second master's being searched for Master of Arts.
Yeah, we study.
And peace studies. A lot of credentials are before him. I'm wondering as to whether he didn't forget about some of them. But this is quite important for us as a country. It's good that we go through this process to make Liberia great again.
Okay. And we go to the, do you have another one?
Well, we just send a bachelor.
Oh, okay. Let's do the bachelor.
I don't think we will.
Yes, it's okay.
So yes, I don't know when next, but whatever happens, we will get you listened to it right here.
Political science, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science.
It's quite dramatic and very professional in the ELBC 99.9.
Okay.
At the Civil Service Agency is where we are after the press conference in Hall.
So we verify this one and we all had the same stuff. So we got a software, that we can scan the documents and then we send it for verification. Once we're not seeing the seal, it's there. So if it was not there, that means we have to scan it and send it to the software. So the software now will flag us to whether it's authentic or not. So but since this is you probably just seen it, you just capture it and then you're not doing a tenant because you are not civil servants are political appointees, so we're not collecting that from them. So that means the process can be right there.
All right, this is the process. Civil servant.
I think this is just leading by example. As I said, he who comes with equity must come with clean hands. The Civil Service Agency is going through the process, and I have to initiate it as the leader. You heard them saying I am a political appointee. Actually, the process is supposed to be for the civil servants, but I'm encouraging all my colleagues who are appointees, people appointed by the president. They should also, do it, go through the process. It doesn't hurt. If you went to school and obtain, your academic credentials and you have professional certificates, it's also good to present them because they're going to scan them. Like you said, you saw the authentic seals on all of the diplomas. And usually they scan because they have a software that can just come back to them and tell them whether or not it was falsified or forged. And that's what they're going to be doing. So I just want to use this opportunity to encourage everybody. No fears, nothing harmful. This is just in the interest of our country, making sure that we strengthen the public service with professional people, people who are qualified to be in the service. And then that's how other people build their countries. They don't dump incompetent people in their civil service or public service. They actually hire the best minds, the best brains, the best technicians. The civil service is for technicians. And that's why, if you follow me, I have emphasized that we need to work together to stimulate job creation in the private sector so that we make it attractive to Liberians and provide more jobs for them and keep the civil service, the public service sacred. We keep it for professionals who will help the government deliver effectively and efficiently in the interest of the people.
TJ, during your presentation, how are you talking about those who are asking for 13 to 14 days of interviews? I mean, is there any plan that you have at least to warn the settlement to get a second chance?
So there are a set of, there are categories. There are those who fall in the warning category. There are those who fall in the suspension category. And there are those who fall in the dismissal category. The rules are very clear about those categories, what should happen to them. Those 14 plus, they have to be dismissed because that's what the rule says. If you see that they are captured in the report, then it means that the team was able to verify sufficiently that some of these people don't even work anymore for the entity. The names are only there and they are benefiting from salaries. So basically we have to follow the rules. That's all we are doing.
TG, are you intentional about this, or maybe it's just another what opposition or critics may say wish hunt in the public service?
You follow what we did here today, and you have been following what we've been doing. I want to ask you the same question. Do you think we are intentional, or do you think this is just a showmanship? We stood publicly on your radio, publicly to the world, and lay out the reports, the details, step by step, line by line. There is no showmanship about this. You cannot play with people's status when it comes to jobs. And talking about hundreds of people, this is no joke. This is about time that we'll be serious in this country. President Bwaka is not joking. Lieutenants of this government, of the president, cannot joke. Because if you joke, you know what happens to you. There are several colleagues of ours who have gone already, even before the end of the second year of the administration. So it means that we all have to double our efforts. We need all hands on deck. We need to make sure that we do the right thing for our country. And the president has emphasized transparency, accountability, and integrity in the delivery of services. So we here at CSA, we are taking it personal. And the reason why we're taking that personal, the president mandate personal, is because the only way we can make a difference is to engender transparency and accountability. No joke, no showmanship, no e-show here. No issue, no wish hunt, nothing. So we are doing it to clean up the system, make it efficient, make it effective, and make it productive. Thank you.
All right, thank you. He's the Director General.
Was the Director General of the Civil Service Agency here trained on what's going to be happening to every civil servant who can for a job here, or
So we
in
took the
every
picture that we
government
wanted.
entity, on what should be happening here. So we carry on a drama here that will be taking place at the civil service and other government entities. So this is focused on Liberia Live TV. And my name is Gwendolyn Dorado, your reporter. Thanks for watching, and I ask that you share the live video.